say now. They be lost in the sauce, yeah. Took a loss, that's your loss, yeah. Had to get my point across, yeah. Heard them lasers talking now and we don't pay that no mind. Didn't need to watch and know that I'll be here in no time. Put a candle on it, had to tell them they could blow mine.
Hello.
Oh, sorry about that. Hey. How you doing? Millie Rock, I see you in the building. Miss Fox, I don't see her. I don't know where she popped off to. We got a special guest today. How you feeling today, Millie?
I'm feeling great. I can't complain. I'm blessed.
Girl, I don't know what's going on. I'm excited today. We got a special guest in here. We got definitely a genius in the building who wants to share some information with you guys, and I am so thrilled to have him a part of this show today. Hey, Miss Fox, how you doing? Miss Fox.
I can hear you. I was having technical difficulties. Excuse me.
Hey, wait a minute. Ain't nothing wrong with little technical difficulties. Little technical difficulties get us to where we need to be. You know what I'm saying? A couple bumps and bruises along the way. Talk to me, Miss Fox. How you feeling today? You looking mighty foxy.
I feel amazing. I am about to go to my son's graduation. He's graduating from 8th grade today, so that has got me really excited. Embarking on a whole other thing in high school next year, so woo. Super excited about that. How y'all feeling Friday Eve? That's what I call it.
What?
I feel amazing. Congratulations to your son.
Thank you.
First of all, you didn't give me no invite. What's up?
How you? Oh yeah.
You supposed to give me that. Man, we about to get this show on the road because I can't play with you.
Who do we got to?
Oh my God. Listen, when I talk to this gentleman, this man had everything mapped out. You hear what I'm saying? On how to help children. And that's what's important. When you have a gentleman that's really like locks and set on helping students in college, getting things paid for and not having to pay it back. That is a key part. Key component. Not having to pay your college fees and things. Not having to pay that back. That's amazing, right?
That is amazing.
I'm not going to tell his story the way he can tell his story. So can I have Mr. John Ioannidis come to this stage and grace us with his presence? Hey. What's happening? You know you is a big deal right now, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I can also do adults too, at any point where they are in their academic journey.
So tell me what it is that you do exactly.
So I can deliver as much as $250,000 or more of free financial aid for any degree without any repayment whatsoever. This could be for your bachelor's degree, master's degree, any doctoral program, including law school, medical school, dental school, pharmacy school, you name it, across all 50 states. It's impossible to not qualify. And the only thing I can't do is the work that the student is doing.
Right. So what is it exactly, like, what are the steps that it takes to get these things? What is this, a grant? Can you explain it a little bit in depth for me?
Yes, it is. So it's part of it. Basically, the asset that I can bring to market is entirely FAFSA exempt. Meaning that when a FAFSA have any of you ever filled out a FAFSA application before? That's the federal application for free student aid.
Yes.
Okay, so when a FAFSA form gets filed, and it finds its way to the federal government, if you make, just for starters, if you make $60,000 or more in annual income, or if you exceed the thresholds of how many assets that your family has to its name, basically, then you're not going to qualify for Pell Grants, are the most popular form of financial aid, or subsidized student loans, or or basically getting any assistance from the federal government. And they're very strict about means testing, that sort of thing, where the assets that I bring to market are guaranteed in writing to bring tax-free income when done to perfection, if you will. And then ultimately that is used as a lever to gain access to endowment money. Now, every college and university does not have the same amount of money in endowments. And endowments, in simple terms, is basically how much money is in a college or university's bank account. And when your student gets accepted to that college or university, what I do is, in tandem with the nonprofit that I work with, they are in their 43rd year of their existence, have issued paid over $1.2 billion throughout their existence. And we do all the heavy lifting, if you will. We'll negotiate with every single college, university on behalf of a student, wherever that individual is, of course, in their academic journey, and in turn, be able to get that free money that doesn't have to be paid back whatsoever in the end. Wow. Through all 4 years. Or more.
Is there a way to like get a hold of you for this, and what is the process? Is there like a form or something you have to fill out?
Yes. Here's my website. It is edawards.org. It's that simple. And you could schedule a Zoom meeting with me. And Jules, be more than glad to forward my direct number to those that are definitely interested enough. Yeah, I don't want people who are just going to kick tires and waste time at the end of the day. It's that simple. But I know there's a lot of people out there that need this type of help, because if they didn't, student loans would not have just overtaken $1.8 trillion, which is a fact right now. It just hit that mark.
Right. Go ahead and you can leave your number for them if you want to, and because we got questions to ask. We gonna let Miss Fox go first. Go ahead, Miss Fox. What kind of questions you got for this boss?
I have this question right here because I'm kind of interested. I've never heard of an endowment advisor. Is an endowment advisor and a financial advisor kind of one and the same, or is it?
No, not at all. So what differentiates me from a financial advisor is that a financial advisor is somebody who is licensed to basically sell securities, be it stocks, mutual funds, or a 401k for that matter. And so in turn, they charge a fee. I don't charge a dime of that. And also much of what they can bring to market, as great as it sounds, does not protect oneself from the downside in the financial markets. And stocks, mutual funds, bonds, securities, they are not FAFSA exempt. So that's a whole different circumstance right there. And for those that do feel comfortable about that, their financial advisor, that individual has definitely lost money last year with that. So over time, the question one must ask themselves is, who should I believe what that person is going to do with the market doing what it does, or my family's financial situation? You can't have it both ways today. And also that individual is not going to deliver guarantees, which I can do, for select families in endowment money. That as well. That's what sets me apart from people like that.
Okay, and then my next question is, where does the funding come from for you to, fund the student or the client or whoever it is that you're working with? Where does the funding come from?
It comes from the college and university that the student gets accepted to. So when you go to my website ultimately and scroll down and you look at that, there's over $700 billion of it out there across all 50 states. That or if you just Google whatever college or university that your student wants to get accepted to, where there's an endowment, it can be tapped. That's where the resource comes from. And so endowments, if you look at the history of it, to put it simply, it's they've been around for that literally hundreds, if not thousands of years, basically, for centuries. And so the how they are able to get their money primarily is from their alumni network. So when that individual graduates, they will give back philanthropically to their college or university that got them to a better place, basically. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It definitely makes sense. And then my next question is, for you to be an endowment advisor, do you all get paid, or is this just something that's like volunteer, or is it the nonprofit that's paying out? How does that work?
I get paid through the asset that gets brought to market, but and then there is a fee, a one-time fee, and small annual dues thereafter to the nonprofit. But we do all the heavy lifting. We do all the negotiating. We will perfect the FAFSA application, and we also basically will help point your student in the right direction as far as being able to get the financial advice that that the college anyway is throwing your way. That's the way it works. Yeah.
Okay.
And the only thing that we require of the student is that he or she has to get accepted to a minimum of 6 schools. But having said that, you could apply to it. You could apply to as many as you want, whether it be 6 or 30 of them. Yeah. Yeah, whether it's 6 or 30 of them, the more the merrier.
Right. Okay, thank you so much, John. I'll pass it over to Millie.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. Fox. So yeah, I have a question. Does this apply for trade schools or just college?
Not trade schools, no. Any college or university, basically.
Okay.
So, are you thinking of engineering, or have somebody in your family that's looking at something like that, for an example, or?
So it's just a random question that I'm asking because I have people that are interested not to go to college, but to go to a trade school to be able to learn a trade.
Okay. Then no.
Okay.
Trade school is not unless if it's a trade that's at on site the college or university, that'd be a different story. But yeah, but if it's a non-collegiate or university program, then no.
All right. And another question, how does it make you feel helping these students reach their goals? What feeling do you have?
It's the best feeling in the world. It really is, because the iGenius community coalesces around the fact that of promoting financial literacy, and that was a hallmark of why I got the elite membership. And so yeah, and I think that everybody that is informed enough where they can get the money that they need anyway to go after that degree, something that is obviously economically beneficial to them, will definitely not turn down that decision. It's because they are not informed about the big picture ultimately. Does that make? Would you disagree with that?
Listen, the way that we are being taught right now, we need these financial literacy. We need to be taught, especially the students, because we're not being taught.
No, I agree completely. So, and
I have a question for you.
Sure, go ahead.
I got a question. So, how do you compare? Like, how do you compete with your other competitors? What makes your advisory and your business the better solution for the students?
Better for the students because I'm not out promoting 529 plans or a 401k or something that is not or something that doesn't protect in the markets with that. and to assert that credibility with the risks involved today, that's not in the client's best interest. And people are more exposed today than they've ever been in years past, for sure. As far as where I live here in Florida and elsewhere, there's nobody is educating these families on how to do it, and they would rather sell much of the same thing to others, whether it be Medicare or health insurance or something that is simpler to understand. And that's what separates me from a lot of others from going the extra mile with that.
Okay, and could you tell me like a story of one of your clients that you did help? How was that? What happened, and what was the ultimate result?
So in the nonprofit that I work with anyway, one of the biggest clients that they've had throughout their history is that there is a brain surgeon who have all of you heard about Gabrielle Giffords, the ex-congresswoman from Arizona. Her husband is the junior senator today from Arizona. So she was unfortunately, of course, they're in the middle of an assassination attempt, and the brain surgeon who ultimately operated on her, his name is Dr. Patel. They had a daughter who ultimately enrolled with the Power of Working Together, the nonprofit that I work with exclusively. She ultimately went to all 4 years of medical school for free, despite the family earning well in excess of $500,000 in income with that. Because there are many families out there who think that they make too much money, so therefore they're not paying attention to that big picture. And so that is definitely one of the most noteworthy of clients that has been through this process. Another example of who's inspired me to get into this field is, if you want to look him up, his name is Ken Pruitt. He's actually the state senator who shepherded the legislation through the Florida legislature at the time in creating the Bright Future Scholarship. And so basically to quantify what I'm able to deliver and I'm willing to guarantee for select families is that the Bright Future Scholarship is entirely merit based. It doesn't matter how much money you have, what assets you have. Basically, it could go for any public or private university here in Florida, and that's backed by the state budget. What I do is basically taking that on steroids, pretty much.
Okay, and then I have one more question before I pass it down to Lala, who has.
Thank you.
So I heard you say that this benefit is for select families. Could you explain a little more in depth about who qualifies, who does not qualify? You know what I'm saying? Just so they have an understanding on, when to reach you or who to reach you, who not to reach out to you.
Sure. So the select families anyway, depending on what colleges and universities that the student applies and gets accepted to. For some of them, I'm willing to guarantee a minimum of at least $40,000 of endowment-based financing. If they don't get it, then I will personally refund the one-time fee of $2,000 for the membership, and then thereafter it's only $100. But that's per family. So whether you have 2 kids or 6 kids or more, that's per family. And basically, throughout the 43-year history of the nonprofit that I work with full time, they have never failed to meet that promise of value. It's that big of a deal. And so, the only thing that would depend on where the student winds up is just what schools that he or she gets accepted to. There's more than one can pick from, for sure, when there's thousands out there altogether. and where you are in your academic journey, pretty much. So, and it's not one size fits all. Having said that,
Hey, Lala.
Hey y'all, thank
Thank
you
you.
for passing it over. Honestly, that sounds amazing. I want to ask when you say, because it's
sure.
so true, everyone is, it's not one size fits all. So if you can give us
Mhm.
some examples of two different type of scenarios and how you handled it and kind of custom fit for that person or that scenario, and
Mhm.
what brought you to the conclusion that every situation is a situation basis because it's not all the same.
Right. So you said two different scenarios that
Yes,
led
please.
to the best outcome. You said.
Yes.
Okay. So one scenario anyway led to when you go to my website, and I think you were late to hear this, but it is edawards.org,
Okay.
is the website. When you go to reviews, one family anyway who had 4 kids received over $450,000 altogether in money that didn't have to be paid back. That was money that set the family in a better place. They were all in still within grade school. Ideally, that's where you would want. I would like the family to be, but it's always better late than never. Another example that was pretty calculating at the time was another student who I've been in touch with up in the state of Michigan, where she is currently right now in the very latter part of going to get her master's degree from the University of Michigan. And let's say if that student, upon refiling the FAFSA form, because
Okay.
that happens at the beginning of each academic year. So if that student, let's say, with just 1 year left, suddenly decided, okay, I'm not getting as much endowment money with that, decided to transfer because that college or university had made a better competed offer, then she'll graduate from that free of charge in a perfect world. Yeah, still without repaying that whatsoever.
That's awesome. Now
Yeah.
I want to switch gears and talk about. I know if I heard you correctly, you came into iGenius in the elite package, correct?
Yes, I did.
So I do want to ask, with
Mhm.
the tools at hand provided by iGenius, how do you plan to leverage the education on this platform to assist you in your current role?
I would definitely, well, for one, I would definitely steer any family or any individual who wants to learn how to become more financially literate as far as being able to budget, being able to, I think, aside from understanding inflation at least, the tax code is something that definitely goes hand in hand with that. One conversation that Jules and I had when I was before getting on board was that, you're 1099. There's a lot of tax write-offs involved with that. I am too,
Absolutely.
and yeah, and I don't think too many folks understand that these days.
Right.
Being W-2 is not necessarily the future, depending on what state you live in. So, and I think that the another individual who he's a very exemplary person, and I actually have a history with him that originally dates back several years ago, is Anthony Napolitano. Before
Um,
before iGenius became what it is today, he was already traveling abroad and all over the world and stuff, and we had more than a few connections at the time when he was involved in network marketing. He's a bright, astute individual, very entrepreneurial. I can't wait to see
absolutely.
him at the Diplomat in July. I do have my room booked today already, but yeah, he's a great guy, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for him for sure, and I can't wait to travel with him. That's something that definitely was a huge motivator for me to get involved with the iGenius community, not just my business interests. So
That's
Does
awesome.
that answer your did that answer your question well enough?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I think how you explained it is perfect in
Hmm.
regards to the platform itself. So I appreciate
Hmm.
that. My other question is, I don't know how long you've been in the actual platform, but is there
Just
any
a few months.
just a few months? Can you give us a little insight as to is there any type of product that you're most satisfied with, or is it as a whole, or just a little bit of your experience in being in the business for the last few months?
It's definitely as a whole. Um, I definitely think that that it really depends though on what some find value more than others for sure. Um, I think that the products and understanding basic trading and stuff is definitely something that is better than nothing for sure. Before I got into where I am in the world of finance today is I was actually already doing that through yeah, not through options but through have you heard of futures? The Do you
I've heard
follow
of
the stock
futures.
market at all?
Yeah.
So that's what I was involved. That's what I was involved in trading full time,
Okay.
primarily currencies and commodities, things like that. But
Right.
I would say that's the most. I would say that's what I enjoy seeing the most, and how iGenius is promoting that. You know, because not I don't see many other communities at all who were actively engaged in that. So that I would say that's so far is what I've enjoyed. So for the most
Okay.
part, yeah.
Awesome. And I think this is my last question, but from personal insight and expertise level in regards to
Hmm.
like the central banking that they're trying to pass in regards to like trying to stop digital cryptocurrency and things like that? What, in your
Hmm.
perspective, what is your opinion as to how this platform can help alleviate what's going on now?
Well, I think you're referring to Endotech and Endo and things like that. Is that
Yes.
what you're asking about? Okay. I think it's definitely a great deal that's been able to whoever negotiated that certainly did a great job with it. I think that I definitely don't doubt the capability of the bot. Endo is not something that I've been following very closely, but I definitely wouldn't doubt its potential for sure. I think that with regard to Coinbase, I think that's would be my go-to wallet for sure. We'll see what happens though. I mean, because what are all of you aware of what the SEC just did this week, especially with regard to Binance? Have any of you heard of that yet?
Did they ban? Did they ban Binance?
No, no.
Okay.
But what happened anyway? At least with as far as Binance is concerned, is that it's pretty serious actually. The Securities and Exchange Commission, which is involved with overseeing the laws regarding registering cryptocurrencies, for an example,
Uh-huh.
is has lodged some pretty serious charges against Mr. Zhao, who is the CEO of Binance anyway, including having commingled funds anyway. That which is the same, some of the very same charges that are I think are about to bring down Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. FTX, as you know, is no more. So we'll see what happens with that. But this legal action is ongoing right now.
So I
Okay.
have a question. Does that make you uncomfortable with doing your crypto and everything that you do? Is
I'm
this
sorry.
is this something you're uncomfortable with as far as you doing your crypto, based on what you're saying?
Not not at this time, no. And
Okay, no worries.
I think that when the dust settles, it
Yeah.
will. I think that when the dust settles, at least Coinbase should be able to survive. Unless it faces a real shareholder revolt anyway. I mean, it did take a hit, but so far um, they have been able to maintain themselves. Binance, I would be a lot more iffy about.
Yeah.
So just watch out for whoever has money exposed on there.
And just a quick question. Do you have an
I just
offline
hope that it
wallet?
doesn't lead to like what happened with Sam Bankman-Fried at FTX, because that was really bad and unfortunate for sure. So um, so we'll see.
Correct.
Um, yeah. Does that answer the question well enough?
Yes, definitely. Go ahead, ask your
Thank
question.
you.
Bob. I heard you.
Oh,
Thank you.
sorry. Do you by chance, for just safety precautions, right? Because at one time, I want to say about a year ago, when we were trading, and Binance was the app that most of us was using, we had to switch everything over and find a different platform to trade on. Um, just for safety precautions of like your cryptocurrency and all those things, do you have an offline wallet, an offline digital wallet that, like, if for some reason something gets hacked, you have the capacity to just have it secured away from any type of internet threats?
Not at this time right now. I haven't really thought far ahead enough with regard to really setting that up. But I think that with regard to though my trading platform that I used before, it's called TradeStation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I actually several years ago graduated with an advanced certification in derivative trading from the
Okay.
Online Trading Academy, and that landed me my own account for free through TradeStation. And so they're definitely secure about it. They're pretty much on par with TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, Scottrade, like real online brokerages. That's obviously not the same though as cryptocurrency managers. So
Right.
yeah. And if money wouldn't be an issue down the road, I definitely wouldn't rule out getting involved in Bitcoin futures. That's actually the newest asset on there, although it's it's not cheap. Last time I saw that just for the down collateral, if you will, to be able to make the trade, you needed at least $16,000 to go long to go long or short sell the
Wow.
that futures contract. So it's wildly volatile, but if you can make money at it, that's definitely, it could be an example of a get rich quick scheme to some people. I wouldn't rule that out.
Absolutely.
Right. And so, because a lot of people don't have the knowledge of the currencies and about all this stuff that we know. So it's important to share that. So because knowledge is power. And I'm like a sponge every day. Like, we can learn something different every day. And when people stay in the box, they think everything is a scam. Because believe me, I did. I thought anything that was foreign to me was a scam. So let's talk about it. Why, do people think that you're trying to scam them? Because a lot of people think that sometimes I'm trying to scam them too. So let's get into it. What happens? You ever had that happen to you?
No. Not where somebody thinks that that my policies that I bring to market so much as that, but they do think that with regard to endowments, they do think it is, because it's not, because they just haven't been educated about it enough. And basically the as far as the high school process is concerned, the guidance counselor is under no obligation whatsoever to share with the student on how to finance that at all. The furthest that they will go at all these days, from what I have seen and heard, is that they'll file the FAFSA application, if anything.
So it's safe to say that knowledge is power, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so
and to put into prospect about what is a scam is, you can't, is how many people that have been led to believe that a 529 plan or a 403b plan or even your 401k is the qualified asset to borrow against, for an example, on what that is. It is not. The last time I saw, I got an active figure on how many Americans are out there that have a 529 plan today, for an example, is around 17 or 18 million Americans. That's not small. And you can't spell believe without spelling the word lie.
Right. So tell me why is it that a lot of Americans are struggling today. Tell me a little bit about why you feel like that is happening.
For a multitude of reasons. One is that inflation is definitely something that doesn't bode well for most people. That in and of itself is a tax. That you're basically having to oversee the cost of goods and services, whether it be gas, the supermarket, going to your doctor, depending on what your condition is, things like that. In the college world today, it's the cost of most universities raise their tuition by as much as 5% each year. That may not seem like a lot to some people anyway, but if you have say a 529 plan for an example, or an asset that has lost value with that, the first question you have to ask yourself is how long would it take for you to recoup those savings that have been gambled and eaten up by the market share? So that in turn is very much, connected to that circumstance between the haves and the have-nots today, for sure, because they don't have the wherewithal of being able to withstand such losses like some of them can, and that's otherwise depends on what job you're working. The W-2 blue collar worker and stuff is somebody that it makes it that much more difficult to be able to find upward mobility with that as opposed to a profession that is absolutely essential. Does that answer your question well enough?
Yes, you did. Miss Fox, you got anything for him, or Millie Rock, whichever one?
Also, I'm sorry. To add on, we are programmed to be consumers the whole year round. We are hit with many events, how you call this, like Valentine's and Christmas.
Sure.
Since we're little, we are programmed with, it's Valentine's, I gotta buy a gift for this, blah blah. But they don't teach us on how can we make this money to be able to waste money and do that.
Right. No, for sure.
Nothing, no kids know about none of that.
No, they definitely don't. And something else that's definitely worth paying attention to as time goes on from here is that 75% of our economy is built on consumer spending. So how you manage that effectively just depends on what your needs are first and foremost before your wants. So, and here in Florida, we're definitely seeing a rather seismic shift over time. That's affecting many people.
75%.
Yes, 75% of the U.S. economy is consumer spending.
Wow.
Yes.
That says it all.
It is.
Wow. So, Miss Fox, you got anything for him? Because we're going to wrap this up. But before we wrap it up, I have things to say to him.
Sure do. This will be my last one. So I know we're, on the iGenius platform. I just want to know, what advice can you give to the wayward prospect who is just like being centerfold in front of the iGenius platform that, they're scared to even sign up or fearful that it won't work? What advice can you give that person?
What advice I would give that person definitely is that iGenius, just given the fact that we are globally interconnected, the idea that it's that with who we are around the world, and especially with Anthony Napolitano's presence, they would be hard pressed to find another leader that has the confidence in him, and that is certainly going to not disappoint them with regard to getting the full value out of that. And then the next thing is that is to ask that person if you can't think that that iGenius is going to provide, who's their competitor? I can't think of one right now. And
who? Wait a minute. Who can compete with the team? Like, with the two, like, who? There is absolutely nobody that can compete with us. Like, there's no way. I'm gonna get out. I'm quiet. Go ahead, John.
Name me one.
Thank you.
Just one. Now, who? Okay.
I don't know.
I went a little ahead of myself. Ooh, you got anything else? Because I wanted to say this. What you're doing is amazing because you're doing it for the people. And I appreciate you, John. Like, look, I took my hat off because, you know, I came from nothing. I didn't have nobody like you. My mom told me I had to graduate. You hear me? Graduate. Get that diploma, go to college. But what they didn't tell me was after I did get that, because I was an athlete, top tier on my basketball varsity squad. That was Jules. And they told me I had to graduate, then get ready for college, right? So I get ready for college. When I go into the college area, they're telling me I had to sign up for the FAFSA. Is FAFSA?
FAFSA, yeah. The FAFSA.
FAFSA. And I'm like, so this college cost me this much money to go to college? Do you know I was in college for 2 weeks and I walked out of there? I said, oh, hell no. Excuse my French, but I said, oh, hell no. When I get done playing ball and doing everything that I did, I'm going to have to pay them all this money. So it hit me early. But I didn't have you. I didn't have somebody like you that would have looked out for me. I could have been paying you because I worked at Walmart. I worked at McDonald's. I could have connected and had this plan set up so that my life and my college dreams of being a star, because that's what I wanted to play in the NBA. I wanted to be in the WNBA. That would have been secured by you. So,
the college endowment and stuff, yes. The get the athletic scholarship, no.
I would have got that. That was hand down, no problem. Yeah. But at that time, it was like I had to get in the door. I had to get in the door. You know what I'm saying? And so having you would have been amazing. So now I am glad to have you on our talk show today because people need to reach out to you. So like you said, again, I need you to go ahead and tell the people how they can reach you. You know what I'm saying? Make them a believer. Make the naysayers a believer because you're changing lives and I appreciate you. You hear me?
Thank you.
So appreciate how can they reach you? Tell me because I'm in my feelings.
Yes. I'm glad to hear that. And just to direct them to my website, edawards.org. That's the website.
He said ED Awards. ED Awards. Y'all heard him?
ED Awards. EDAWARDS.org.
It's that easy. O to the RG. Y'all make sure if you want to put your kids through college and get it all paid off and you don't have to pay them none of that money back and they get a free trip to college to get knowledge, please call John. Please call Mr. Ionati. He gonna get you together. Y'all hear me?
Thank you.
So we're gonna wrap this show up, John. I just want you to know that it is great to be connected to you. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna grow together. This empire is gonna grow. You hear me? And I got you right on my side, so it means a lot to me. My kids, you hear me? We gonna get that ready. It's been great, y'all. I'll talk to you in a minute, Mr. Ionati. And ladies, you know what we do. Too loud.